We are back with another episode of Black Metal Promo. Today we will cover the second part of a dark and shocking moment in the history of black metal. If you haven't watched the first part, then watch it, link in the description and I button. Let's get started. Number 1, John Nordvade suicide. John Andreas Nordvade, June 28, 1975 to August 13, 2006, is a Swedish musician best known as the lead guitarist and vocalist of the Swedish black metal band, Dissection. He co-founded the band in 1989 with bassist Peter Palmdahl. He is the main songwriter and vocalist for Dissection band. He released the seminal black metal albums The Somber Lane and Storm of the Light's Bane. These albums would prove to be highly influential releases for both black metal and melodic death metal. At the beginning of his musical career, Nordvade formed a heavy metal band called Thunder with his brother Emil in 1988. Their songs were presented in a compilation album of Nordvade's music school in Stromstad. Nordvade also performed in several other projects, including The Black, Asrietas, De Infernali, Niflheim, Ophthalmia, As Shadow, Satanized, Siren's Yell, and Terror, a grindcore band that featured members of At the Gates. He also worked as a journalist in Metal Zone, where he was responsible for keeping track of the growing black metal scene. He was a member of the Misanthropic Luciferian Order, MLO, now known as Temple of the Black Light, and the Werewolf Legion, a Swedish criminal organization based in Stockholm. Nordvade was convicted of being an accessory to the 1997 murder of Joseph Ben Meddour, an Algerian gay man. He restarted Dissection upon his release from prison in 2004. On August 13, 2006, Nordvade was found dead in his apartment in Hasselby, by an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound inside a circle of lit candles. Early reports indicated that he was found with an open copy of the Satanic Bible, but these were later dismissed by Dissection's guitarist Seth Seitan. According to him, it's not any atheist, humanist, and ego-worshipping, the Satanic Bible by Anton LaVey that John had in front of him, but a satanic grimoire. He despised LaVey and the Church of Satan. The Satanic Grimoire is reputed to be the Liber Asrit, one of the publishings of the Misanthropic Luciferian Order, by which Nordvade apparently was influenced, his last album Rain Chaos's lyrics being co-written by the same man who wrote the Liber Asrit. Regarding his views on suicide, Nordvade said, "The Satanist decides of his own life and death, and prefers to go out with a smile on his lips when he has reached his peak in life, when he has accomplished everything, and aim to transcend this earthly existence. But it is completely unsatanic to end one's own life because one is sad or miserable. The Satanist dies strong, not by age, disease, or depression, and he chooses death before dishonor. Death is the orgasm of life. So live life accordingly, as intense as possible." Number 2, founding members of Belgian black metal band, Enthroned, commit suicide. Enthroned is a Belgian black metal band formed in Charleroi in 1993 by drummer Sir Nanos. He soon recruited guitarist Sabaoth and a vocalist from grindcore and black metal band, Hecate, who stayed until the end of December 1993. Then bassist and vocalist Saba then joined. The band released a 5-track demo tape in mid-1994 which brought them to the attention of several independent labels. A 7-inch split EP with Ancient Rites was then released by the underground label After Dark Records. After the label's demise, Evil Alliance Records, a sub-label of Osmos Productions, released Enthroned's first full-length release, Prophecies of Pagan Fire. Shortly thereafter, the band enlisted second guitarist Norn Agist. Eventually, Sabaoth was replaced by Neburos. In 1996, along with Ancient Rites and Bewitched, Enthroned began an extensive tour of Europe. In April 1997, as Enthroned was to begin recording Towards the Skull Throne of Satan, Sir Nanos committed suicide by hanging himself. He was 25 years old. Enthroned recorded the album with a session drummer in honor of Sir Nanos and performed at the Dragon's Blaze Festival with newly acquired drummer Namrith Blackthorn. In April 1998, the band toured the European continent with Dark Funeral and also released the mini CD Regi Sathanas, a tribute to Sir Nanos, which was dedicated to their former drummer Sir Nanos. Number 3, Eric Brodreskift, black metal drummer, commits suicide. Eric, 1969–1999, was a black metal drummer for bands such as Immortal, Gorgoroth, and Borknagar, and despite being an underrated drummer, he is still held as one of the best black metal drummers of the genre. In Immortal, Grim joined the band a few weeks after they had finished their album Pure Holocaust in year 1993, so he just appeared on the cover picture. He played with Immortal 2 tours, Fuck Christ Tour and Sons of the Northern Darkness Tour. Afterwards Abath and Demonaz decided that Eric had to leave the band, because he wasn't useful for the band's later career. In Borknagar was founded by Øystein Brun, then a member of the Norwegian death metal band Molested, when he became tired of the brutal aspects of the band's music. Øystein formed Borknagar to explore a more melodic outlet of expression, inspired by the burgeoning black metal movement Norway was experiencing and looking to push the boundaries of what was considered traditional black metal music. He wrote all of the music and lyrics, and gathered together an all-star group of black metal musicians to play in his band, such as Infernus of Gorgoroth, Grim of Immortal and Gorgoroth, and Ivar Bjørnson of Enslaved. In Gorgoroth, he joined the band in 1996 and was responsible for the drums on the EP The Last Tormentor, 1996, and on the album Under the Sign of Hell, 1997. Grim left the band because of personal reasons. He committed suicide on the October 4, 1999. Grim was manic depressive and had tried to kill himself several times, before finally succeeding with a sleeping pill overdose. His funeral was held in Malendal Church Cemetery, Hordaland Country, in Bergen. As a tribute, Nargarot wrote the song, Eric May You Rape the Angels for him, and the annual Hole in the Sky Metal Festival took place by Eric Brodreskift's memory and organized by his memory fund. The album Incipit Satan by Gorgoroth is also dedicated to Grim. Number 4, founding member of Life Lover band, Jonas B. Bergqvist commits suicide. Life Lover was a Swedish music group, formed in 2005 by Jonas Bergqvist and Kim Carlson in Stockholm. The name for Life Lover came from when Jonas B. Bergqvist was called a life lover by a man whom he loathed. He named the band Life Lover with the idea in mind that, people can call us anything they want. Former drummer Joel Non Malman added onto this by saying, we're all life lovers in our own sense, our own personal sense. Life Lover combined several genres into their sound, citing black metal, post-punk, dark ambient, doom metal and gothic rock among other influences. The band called their music narcotic metal, which was described in a Decibel interview with Carlson where he stated, anyone should be able to figure that out what that means, or make their own conclusion about it. The band are credited for being one of the biggest influences on the black metal subgenre depressive suicidal black metal, also known as DSBM. On September 10, 2011, it was confirmed that band member B died the previous day. An official statement released on September 16 stated that, he had died in his sleep after overdosing the night before on his prescription drug medication. It was proven to be an accidental death, after an investigation following had suicide and foul play ruled out, and an official autopsy report released months later indicated, poisoning and overdose. The remaining members ultimately decided to split up, citing B's irreplaceable role as songwriter and lead composer, and stated that their final shows were those performed in Belgium and the Netherlands the weekend following B's death. After these concerts, the band had planned on playing one more show on October 14, 2011 dedicated to B, but later decided against it, laying the band to rest out of respect to him. Despite this, Life Lover did perform one more live show in November 2015 for the band's 10th anniversary since they formed in 2005. The concert took place in Quebec, Canada, which was the first time that Life Lover performed a show outside of Europe. Number 5, black metal fan murder the lead singer of black metal band, Surrender of Divinity being false Satanist. According to the Bangkok Post, Samong Trazatha, aka Avijay, the 36-year-old bassist and vocalist of the Thai black metal band Surrender of Divinity, was stabbed to death in his house on Wednesday, January 8. Samong's wife, Yaravan Surapol, told police he was killed by Prakarn Harn Fanbusakorn, a fan of the band who went to their house to drink with the singer and print off promotional t-shirts. She claimed that when she returned to the room after she put her child to bed, she found her husband in a pool of blood and Prakarn gone. Police said that the frontman, also known as Avijay, was stabbed more than 30 times in a frenzied attack. A few days after the killing, a Facebook user who goes by the name of Maleficent Meditation, who police believe to be an alias of Prakarn, claimed to have been responsible for the murder. In a long-worded confession, he wrote, "I have intended to end my life since I was 25. Because I'll die eventually, I want to drag down those who tarnish Satanism with me. But I refrained from killing women and children. I have more respect for devoted Buddhists, Christians, and Muslims than those who call themselves Satanists without knowing anything about it. If I did not kill him, I'm sure he would be murdered by someone else later." Maleficent Meditation dismissed suggestions that he was a fan of the band and ended the post with "Hail Satan." Number 6 Chilean black metal fan kills priest, attempts suicide. A Chilean black metal fan killed an Italian Catholic priest, slitting his throat just after the priest had finished giving Mass at Santiago's Metropolitan Cathedral. His name is Orias. Orias, who admitted that he made the 1,900 kilometers journey to Santiago from his parents' hometown of Coyuc, with the intention of murdering a priest, was rushed to a hospital and underwent surgery. He was under arrest. He was reportedly not under the effect of drugs or alcohol at the time of the July 24 attack. Police have recovered inverted crosses, goat's horns and a number of heavy metal albums from Oria's rented apartment in Santiago. Dark funeral vocalist comments about the murder. Emperor Magus Caligula. Sure, we sing about killing Christians and blood and feathers falling from angels are present in a lot of the lyrics. Maybe the music triggered him somehow, but he probably would have harmed someone even if he hadn't been listening to Dark Funeral. He was not well. But I have to say that I'm somewhat impressed. He deserves some credit. You're not supposed to say that, but I don't care. Number 7 Celestial Bloodshed frontman shot to death. Steingrim Thorsen, aka Mehamalath, was a Norwegian multi-instrumentalist, most notable for his stay in the black metal band Celestial Bloodshed as a frontman. He had actively participated in similar extreme acts playing various instruments in bands like Grenjar, Selvaat, Cow's Ritual to name a few. In the night of April-May 30, 2009, Steingrim's life came to an unfortunate end, when he ended up being in the receiving end of an accidental gunshot at the tender age of 25. He was shot dead in his friend's apartment in Bison, a district in Trondheim. The 20-year-old male charged of the murder was described to be Thorsen's best friend, who had no explanation of how the gun went off. According to the suspect's attorney, Morten Alberg, the shot was fired at a closed range, and Thorsen fell backwards, but the rest of the devastating incident was blurred in his memory. His contributions in black metal masterpieces like Cursed, Scarred, and Forever Possessed, 2008, and Janam Morket Famland, 2008, will remain as a testimony to his greatness. Number 8 Abruptum band members tortured and cut each other during their recordings. Abruptum is a Swedish black metal and dark ambient solo side project band. It is run by Evil, Morgan Steinmeier Håkansson, of Marduk, but the band was formed in 1989 by IT, aka Tony Sarkov. All, aka Jim Berger, EXT, and Evil joined the band later. IT was one of the leaders of the True Satanist Horde, part of the Swedish black metal scene. Euronymous, a co-founder of Mayhem and founder of Death Like Silence Productions, described Abruptum as the audio essence of pure black evil. Abruptum was signed to Euronymous's label Death Like Silence Productions, on which they released 2 albums, and IT considered Euronymous to be a true ally. After Euronymous' murder, Abruptum contributed the opening track to the compilation album, Nordic Metal, a tribute to Euronymous. Controversy surrounded Abruptum's close relationship with Euronymous, with Varg Vikernes specifically referencing Abruptum, when recalling his version of the events, and motives leading to the death of Euronymous. Vikernes, claiming that he killed Euronymous in self-defense, recalled in a 2006 interview. Euronymous wanted to kill me for several reasons. I dumped his label, and by doing that left him with a label with only bands that sold extremely bad, Abruptum, and some other trash. Abruptum is classified as a black metal and dark ambient band. The band took a different approach to their music. They did not focus on creating any structured songs, and mostly just made noise. Earlier material had shorter songs, but their later releases typically included 1 or 2 tracks with more than 40 minutes of music. They primarily used standard drums, guitars, bass, keyboards and other various instruments, but what stood out even more was the screaming, as the band supposedly tortured and cut each other during their recordings. Whether this is true or not has never really been verified. After IT left the band, Evil changed the band's musical style to more dark ambient noise, and dropped most of the metal sound. Number 9 Winder vocalist died from hypothermia. Winder, warrior in English, was a black metal band from Sandal, Norway. The band was formed in 1994 by vocalist and multi-instrumentalist, Terje Valfarbakken, and released its debut album, Soknerdalr in 1997. Winder combined black metal with Scandinavian folk music, folklore, and mythology, and many of the band's lyrics are written in Sagnamal. On January 14, 2004, Terje Valfarbakken went to his family's cabin at Feijerangi, Norway by foot. On January 17, his body was found at Repostelen in the Sandal Valley. He died from hypothermia after being surprised by sudden inclement weather en route. He was buried on January 27 at Stege Church in Norway. In March 2004, Winder officially disbanded. A compilation album containing Winder outtakes and B-sides, Valfar, Ein Winder, was released in 2004 as a tribute to Valfar. On September 3, 2004, in Oslo, Winder's remaining members performed their last concert to go back to their roots, and keep pace with what they thought was real. Enslaved, Fintroll, Notaden All Stars, Ehead, and Mindgrinder were the guest bands. So this is the second part of a dark and shocking moment in the history of black metal. Thank you for watching till the end. If you enjoy videos, feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more black metal videos.